Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to work on calculating the dimensions of a rectangle. And in this case, we're told that we have a barn, and the total area of the barn is equal to 119 feet squared. Okay? Now, we're given some more information about the barn, so let's go ahead and start by drawing it. So we're told in the question that the length is longer than the width. In fact, the length is 10 feet bigger than the width. So the length is w plus 10, and our objective here is to find the values for L and W, given that this is the area. Well, in order to do that, we want to recall that area, the formula for area of a rectangle is just length times width. But we know from the problem that the length is equal to w plus 10. So this is equal to w plus 10 times w, which evaluates to w squared plus 10w. But we know from this particular problem that a is equal to 119. So we're going to replace the a by 119 feet squared. I'll just write 119 since everything's okay. So we have this equation here. Now it's almost in quadratic form. Remember, in the quadratic form, we want 0 on the left-hand side of the equation. So I'm going to subtract 119 from each side, and that leaves me with the equation w squared plus 10w minus 119 is equal to 0. Now notice this is in the form of aw squared plus bw plus c is equal to 0, which is the quadratic equation in standard form, where a is the coefficient of w. Since there's nothing there, I just write a 1. b is equal to 10, and c is equal to 119. So we have w is, using the quadratic formula, because it's a quadratic equation in standard form, is equal to negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac, all divided by 2a. Well, w is, well, b, what is b is 10, so negative b is negative 10. Plus or minus the square root of b is 10, so this is 10 squared, minus 4 times a is 1, times c is negative 119, all divided by 2 times 1. A is 1, right? So if I simplify this, it tells me that w is equal to negative 10 plus or minus the square root of 100, and we're going to have negative 4 times 1 is negative 4, times negative 19. A negative and a negative give me a positive, and 4 times 119 is 476. So it's going to be plus 476 divided by 2. And 100 plus 476 is 576. So I'm going to go ahead and write w is equal to negative 10 plus or minus the square root of 576 divided by 2. Well, the square root of 576 is actually 24. So I'm going to replace the square root of 576 by 24. So w is equal to negative 10 plus or minus the square root, So w is equal to negative 10 plus or minus 24 divided by 2, right? And so we have two possible answers, and that's going to be w is equal to negative 10 minus 24 all over 2, and w is equal to negative 10 plus 24 divided by 2, right? Okay, so what we have here is, for the top one, a negative 24 and a negative 10. Since they're both the same sign, we just add the numbers and keep the sign of the numbers is negative. It becomes negative 34 divided by 2. And negative 34 divided by 2 is negative 17 feet squared. Now that answer doesn't make any sense. It satisfies our equations, but a negative number doesn't help us in real life. So we'll try the next one. We have a negative 24 and a positive 24 and a negative 10. So we're going to subtract the two numbers and keep the sign of the larger one. 24 minus 10 is going to be 14. And since the 24 is the bigger number and it's positive, the result is going to be positive. And then what we have over here is 14 divided by 2 is 7. Okay? And the length is going to be equal to w plus 10, which is going to be equal to w is 7, so it's going to be 7 plus 10 is equal to 17. So I need to check my answer to make sure. So I have my width as 7, my length as 17. I'm going to check that area is equal to length times width is equal to 7 times 17 is equal to 7 times 10 plus 7 is equal to 70 plus 49, and 70 plus 30 is 100 plus 19, so this is equal to 119 feet squared, which is what I wanted, and that's my answer. Okay? So this is slightly different than the question was asked, and the answers are just a little changed. But go through, and if you want to retry that particular problem, the exact same format, except the numbers are different, go ahead and send me a message if you have a question. And I hope to hear from you soon. Thank you, and have a great day.